Welcome to Legacy Engineered, the show where smart structure meets lasting success. Join Scott Arden, Chairman and CEO of Controllers Limited, as he sits down with business leaders, top entrepreneurs, and experts to uncover the strategies, stories, and structures that build lasting legacies. And now, here's your host, Scott Arden.
Welcome back to Legacy Engineered. I'm your host, Scott Arden. Today's guest is someone who doesn't just talk about opportunity, he creates it. I want to introduce you to Ramez Fakhoury, who is an entrepreneur with over 2 decades of experience across hospitality, financial services, and real estate. As the VP of IRA Club, he's made it his mission to unlock doors for investors and show them why or what's truly possible when they step beyond the traditional investment box. Ramez is passionate about education, empowerment, and helping individuals take back control of their financial future. Through the power of self-direction and true white glove customer service experience, he's guiding investors to diversify smarter, think bigger, and reclaim ownership over their retirement strategies. So get ready for a conversation that will change the status quo and open your eyes to the world of self-directed investing. Ramez, welcome to Legacy Engineered.
Hey, Scott, let me tell you something. I've done a lot of podcasts and visited and did so many events in my lifetime, right? That was probably one of the more better bios and introductions that I might have to ask you if I could steal that because it was that good. So thank you so much for that introduction. It was great.
Absolutely. Absolutely, my man. I can send that over to you. Not a problem.
And I didn't pay him to say it. So thanks, Scott. That was great.
Well, awesome, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Like you said, come from a world that most people are not familiar with. 97% of Americans kind of don't understand the concept of something called self-directing. And just to be clear, the term self-direction just means control, right? We're trying to educate our members, our clients here at the IRA Club, how to, again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but to take back control of their own finances, right? And there's nothing wrong with working, again, with fiduciaries and financial advisors. The only one thing that I will say that most people do not tend to know is me, and the IRA Club, meaning my colleagues, we can never choose the investment for the investor. So that's always been kind of the challenge for us, Scott. But at the end of the day, we empower, right? I think the best thing to take away from this, because nobody wants to know who Ramez Fakhoury is. I'm boring. Don't worry about me. But about the IRA Club, right? Think of us like Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab, right? Or one of the other 10,000 classical brokerage firms that are out there. The real differences between IRA Club and them is when you talk about IRAs, 401ks, HSAs, 403bs, TSPs, or any qualified retirement account, the real difference is just going to be not only can I let you invest in the stock market, but I give you the flexibility to use your retirement dollars and diversify in real estate, land, syndications, private equity deals, basically anything your heart desires. Again, the only catch is I can never choose the investment for the investor.
Yep. Well, and that's why, we send a lot of our clients and controllers over to the IRA Club. A lot of them, have heard about this cool thing called self-directed, but they're not, 100% understanding what it is, how they can do it. And so that's, the beautiful thing about the business relationship that we've built here is, you provide that educational component. I know the basics of self-directed, but you are the expert when it comes to that, the use of, like you said, solo Ks, 403Bs, IRAs, Roths, all that good stuff. So that's awesome. So you've spent more than 2 decades across hospitality, financial services, and real estate. How did those experiences shape your path to becoming the VP at IRA Club?
Let me tell you something. One of the things let me start off first about how does somebody make a transition from the hospitality world into the financial world? And Scott, I gotta say, it's always about a girl, right? I don't know if you ever seen that movie. With Matt Damon at the very end with Robert Williams. Why am I not? Oh, Good Will Hunting. He, passes that note along to him and says, "Hey, I gotta go see about a girl." Well, that's kind of how my life was. 20 years, opened up 4 restaurants, in particular wine bars in the Chicagoland area. And when you asked how did that shape me or embed those work habits that I've had over to the financial world, it's what you said a split second ago, right? It's The fact that nobody, no, okay, let me take a step back. You may have heard of a self-directed account or self-directed IRA account, but you maybe not don't understand the process, right? So in this case, when I sit and I talk to my team members and managers and I say to them, customer service is key in this industry, especially in this world, because if you don't understand something, what is the likelihood of you moving forward? Right? It's the same concept in the hospitality world. They're not going to remember the 10 great times they had at my restaurants, right? They're going to remember that one time you screwed up. It's the same thing in this world also. They don't remember all the good experiences. So you got to always understand hand-holding is a big component in IRA Club. If you're ever lost, call. You don't know what form to fill out, call. You think you're causing a prohibited transaction, call, send an email. The one thing that we always ensure is you're never going to be lost in this process.
That's awesome.
So I think that's the biggest
awesome.
takeaway, Scott, right? Is the hand holding, the customer service. I made sure to embed that in my team. And I think that's one of the main reasons why, Scott, you use IRA Club, right? You could get a hold of me anytime you want, meaning not just me, but the rest of the team members. So I think it's a crucial role.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the biggest things with us at Controllers is, we're not here to just set you up and say, here you go, you've got it, go figure out how to use it. We're actually going to help, provide the guidance and the tools. And that's really, why we've built that great relationship is, you provide the educational component, you care about the client, we do the exact same thing. So absolutely. Well, awesome. So for listeners who are new to the concept of self-directed IRAs, why do you believe it's such a powerful tool for building long-term wealth?
Diversification is the key word I always take away, right? Number one, no one's going to care more about your money than you. You know that first and foremost, right, Scott?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So for us, it's the thing is everybody thinks I have an issue with the stock market. Absolutely not. We all made money in the stock market at the end of the day, but I always try to explain people when you look at retirement accounts, knowing for the simple fact that you can't touch them until you're 59 and a half, right? I try to explain people like, look at things decade by decade, every 10 years, right? And when people diversify their personal dollars, if you don't mind me asking, Scott, what do you think like the one asset class, when you're looking at things decade by decade, what is the one asset class that will always trump all other asset classes after 20, 30, 40, 50 years? I'm just asking.
I'm going to have to say real estate.
I mean, it's not even close because numbers don't lie. Like if you look at the S&P 500 for the last 20 years, it's given you about a 328% return on your money. When you look at real estate in the last 20 years, and that's even including the 2008 crash, it's 2,100% returns on your money. So the point that I'm trying to make is, don't you think that you should diversify your retirement dollars the same way you do your personal dollars? That's the only thing that we try to tone down. But the problem is, and I hate to say this, there's 4 real components on why people don't self-direct, right? Number one is lack of education. I hate to say this. People don't want to read. It's not something you grew up with. You sat at the dinner table and, hey, Dad, I learned about, self-directed retirement. And that's not something my father would ever bring up to my attention. You know what I mean? So 2, that's 1. 2, identifying the investment opportunity. Okay. I hate to say most Americans are not savvy investors. Identifying the investment opportunity is always a challenge, right? So that's why most people just throw their money inside of the stock market or a CD or decide to do an annuity, right? And you're talking about $45 trillion is sitting within retirement accounts. The majority of that is in the stock market. So most of America's wealth, liquid, is in the retirement world, right? So what I'm trying to get at is, why do you probably think a fiduciary or broker or an RIA is not really, because that's really the third component about why people don't self-direct. Why don't you think they ever push alternative assets? It's because they can't really make money off of it.
Right. I was going to say they typically stay within, these are the parameters of the firm. This is what we make commission on. This is what we make the biggest commission on. And that's what we're going to push. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, think about this. If you were to walk up to your broker right now and say, oh my God, I found this house on 123 Green Street, right? Or my next door neighbor's house that's selling, that's got a house for sale and I'm going to use my IRA to buy that. Well, okay. You walk up to your broker or fiduciary and say, hey, I would like to use a portion of my 401k or IRA to buy this house. What do you think they're going to say to you? No,
Yep, can't do
no,
that.
don't do that. It's a prohibited transaction. Or sorry, that isn't part of the pool of investments that we offer. But maybe here's a REIT that you want to look at that's giving you about, I don't know, 3, maybe 4% returns on your money. They create these what's the word? Artificial restrictions.
Correct.
That's what I like to call them. Okay. So and also understanding that, not that I have a problem with fiduciaries and registered investment advisors, because everyone needs to make money at the end of the day. It's just the information that's given to clients is not correct, right?
Right.
That's the problem. And then lastly, this one's kind of funny. I'm too old to get started. I know you're laughing, Scott, but we hear that probably about 20% of the time. I'm already 60 years old, and I look at him, I'm like, what, are you going to die tomorrow? You know, the average American lives until 80. Like, when is it ever too old to tell Uncle Sam to go kick rocks? So that's kind of like what I tell people. It's like, you gotta like learn and pick your battles, number one, but learning these little tools of the trade will go such a long way, because when you think about ROI at the end of the day, when somebody says, I'm giving you 10% returns on your money, well, that ROI is a lot different when you're paying taxes on it year after year versus using a retirement account, right?
Right.
Because if you're using a traditional account, think of it like 12% returns. But if you're using a Roth account, right? What's the difference between Roth and traditional? Just really basic. You know this more than anybody, Scott. Traditional, deferred, right? You're going to make a contribution. The taxes are deferred later on in life, or we refer to it as the RMD, required minimum distribution. Okay. The Roth, you're paying the taxes up front on the seed, right?
Right.
The capital gains, tax free for the rest of your life. So that ROI that I was just referring to is no longer 10%. It's 12, 14, 16, 18%, depending on how much you're investing and time, the longevity of the investment. So most people can't understand compound interest is I can't even explain it. It's like liquid gold. So,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah.
that's kind of my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, even at the age of 60, and you said life expectancy, average life expectancy is 80, or mid 80s. And so why put your money into an investment that you're going to get taxed on, but put the money into a Roth, use the Roth for the investment, and now you've got consistent tax-free income for the rest of your life, right? Especially based upon those RMDs.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm a huge advocate of the Roth, and the Secured 2.0, Secured Act 2.0 has made it so much more accessible and easier for individuals to actually make those contributions to a Roth. And that's just probably the one time that you're going to say thank you to inflation, right? In our
Right.
world,
Right.
because I hate to say this, the Treasury Department is basically saying we need to find out more ways to make money, and they're actually telling people make your contributions to a Roth, especially if you own a small business. They're even giving the employer the flexibility to make Roth contributions. So if you're listening, right, and you have a 401k plan, you better go to your HR department or your employer and say, I would like my 3%, 5%, 10% match, whatever the case may be, in a Roth basis. Big tool. Use it. Guaranteed it works long term.
Absolutely. Well, and we as business owners, we're able to hire our kids. So if the intention is to create generational wealth, by being able to pay our kids completely tax-free, set up a Roth for them, make contributions of that $6,000 or $7,000 with that additional bonus that came about, now you're starting to build that generational wealth for your children. And the beautiful thing is they can also become investors using those Roths in other deals that you're doing.
As long as you teach them, Scott, that's the other half.
Right.
You don't listen to me. You don't ever tell your child, right, that you got a Roth IRA account unless you're lying on your deathbed or it's in your will. Because kids are stupid with their money. I know you're laughing, Scott, but that's the truth. So, and I love that you said that. And I think I may have said this to you because me and you were listening at we were on another webinar not too long ago. Me and my wife welcomed our newest son, Elias, right? And 3 weeks ago. And let me tell you what the first thing that I did is exactly what Scott just said. Open up a Roth IRA, make a contribution, okay? And all I did for right now was just throw it in the S&P 500, let it grow, make those contributions. But I'm telling you something, the greatest gift that you could give a newborn or a grandchild is, especially on the first year, is a $7,000 contribution to a Roth. By the time they reach 59 and a half, it'll be valued at $1.9 million, tax free. Greatest gift you could ever give a child is a Roth IRA account. And I'm also going to bring this, not to go off a little bit off subject, let's think Trump for a second, okay? Because Trump, with the part of the big beautiful bill, just now, just this came out. We were actually at RITA, Scott. For those that don't know, RITA is the association that governs a lot of the self-directed IRA companies. A big memo came out and said Trump is now going to be contributing $1,000, right, to every newborn in a traditional IRA. I wish it was a Roth, but traditional. They're going to want their taxes at some point, so let's be clear about that. But that's huge, and the fact that you can make a $5,000 contribution, that's another huge advantage. But they're really focused on helping minors, right? Children, as much as they love us or trying to help us. I think they're really focused on this next generation. I think that's a huge plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know even a lot of the states are starting to implement that, if you're an employer, you've got more than 5 or 6 employees, you've got to either set up a 401k, some type of retirement plan, because that's one of the things is, over generations, less people contribute to those qualified plans because, again, the inflation, all of that.
Yeah.
So like, I need to keep more of the money in my pocket. So I'm not even thinking about long term. I'm thinking about immediate right now. And so, yes, this, these Trump accounts and, a lot of the states are starting to implement them. I think it's great because eventually, we've been talking about it, but I don't know your opinion on it, but I don't, you think Social Security is going to go away?
Listen, I don't think there's any way that it's going to go away. I think I read a whole article about this. There's really 3 things that could really happen. Number 1, it completely goes away. Highly, highly doubt that happens. Okay. Number 2, the potential of them possibly lowering from 100% down to potentially 80%. They were talking about maybe by 2033, 2035. Okay. And the reasons why is we're not reproducing as fast, and people are not contributing to the actual Social Security fund because, again, less and less Americans are being born. Right. And I did my part, by the way. That's number 2. So I did my job to society. I'm happy about that. And then number 3 is going to be changing the age, right? Where you qualify used to be 65. They're thinking about raising that up to 70. And that is a very high likelihood that may happen. Okay. Not sure when, if it's going to pass, but those are the 3 things that they've been that's been up in the air. And just to go back a split step, is something that you hit the nail on the head, is because of Social Security, right? We talked about this, established 1935. Most people don't know this. There were 28 workers for every 1 retiree. Fast forward to today, that's 2 to 1. They're saying by 2030, because of medicine, that's going to be 1 to 1. So to the point you just made, what are some states starting to do is they are requiring, if you have 5 or more employees, to offset Social Security because they're that worried about it. We need to do something. And I think other states are already starting to follow suit. And again, a great segue into another branch of IRA Club is IRA Club SBS, which stands for Small Business Solutions. So giving the flexibility, we're really proud about this. We're one of the first in our industry. Imagine if an employer and an employee could set up a self-directed safe harbor 401k account or traditional 401k account or a simple IRA account where we put, obviously your money has to be vested in the stock market to start, but as these accounts grow, giving them the flexibility to do alternative assets like buy precious metals, buy a house on 123 Green Street. So we're really, really trying to embed and teach even small business owners this concept. So we're really, really excited about that. Scott, I think I may have told you that in the past, but it's officially launched as of last year, and it's really, hit the ground running. So we're really proud of it.
That's awesome. I think we talked a little bit about it, but there hasn't been a whole, let's talk more in depth as to how we can, how
Collaborate.
that's going to work with our clients and all that
Yeah,
good
yeah, how
stuff.
it's going to
So,
collaborate. Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said, I would love to show it to you. That's off subject, but that is something that's also very much available. And we're really, really excited about giving our clients the flexibility to do so. And we basically connect to every single payroll company. We just sit down. We kind of launched again a separate branch of our company. It's called IRA Club Financial, where you sit down with one of our RIAs and we kind of make sure that we're setting you up in the right type plan or the right type of plan, and what sets up well and with your future of your company and the success of your company. But one of the things that you may or may want to talk about is fees. You know this better than anybody, Scott. Fees are a big component on how much they eat away at somebody's life savings, right? In their 401ks or
absolutely.
IRAs.
Absolutely.
You know that, and I know that, because one of the things that really bothers me is people, 60% of Americans do not know what their fees are. They don't know that there are certain, we call them hidden fees that are baked into these 401k statements. I kind of refer to them as termites. They just nitpick at your retirement account. And if you go Google this, I don't have to tell you this, go Google it. The average 401k plan is roughly in fees is about 2.5%. So
Yikes.
think about that. For every $100,000 that you have, they're taking $2,500 from you. Whether the
Right.
market's up, down, or flat, that's kind of a scary thought.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So from your perspective, what are key opportunities investors often overlook, especially when it comes to, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying a little bit ago about being able to invest in precious metals or, real estate, things like that. When it comes to alternative assets like real estate or private lending or early stage companies.
So, but that's the beauty of it, Scott, right? You just hit the nail on the head. The advantages are you invest in whatever you know and understand best. You
Right.
could also, right? Like, let me take it a step again. Let me take it a step back. We have about 15,000 IRA Club members. One of the beauties of working here is seeing how our own investors are investing. Like, what's the hot trend right now? Right now, I'm telling you, Scott, gold. Gold is through the roof. Precious metals. Um, Crypto, right, was a huge hot topic of discussion. And then obviously the markets have been on fire. So,
Hmm.
and getting people to understand, we give you all of these options, right? If you want to go pick your own stock, go pick your own stock, right? You know this, Scott, firsthand. We're one of the only self-directed IRA companies that offer an AI-driven solution because we partnered with, Randy Tate's company.
Yep.
They
He's
own the
he's
rights.
actually going to be on a future podcast. So
Oh, good. Oh, listen, you tell Randy Ramez says hi. Great
I
partner,
will.
just like
I
you.
definitely.
But yeah, that's one of our partners here at the IRA Club is think about this tool, knowing that you can't touch your IRA or 401k, that it protects and preserves it from those market drops.
Yep.
I think it was a perfect vehicle for a 401k or IRA Club plan. That's why SBS hit the ground running so well, is opening up these 401k accounts for an employer to employees, knowing that even though you can't touch it, right, because it's an employer plan, well, guess what? It's still protected to some degree by
Correct.
the AI technology. So it's not just, again, I don't have a problem with the stock market, but giving the individual or the small business owner the flexibility to do whatever makes them happy is such a powerful tool, I think, at the end of the day. So just don't let me choose it. That's it.
There you go. So, question about that, because going back to the precious metals, I know a few years back, it was kind of frowned upon to invest into precious metals and actually be the possessor of the gold or the silver bullion.
Correct.
Have those rules changed then?
No, well, no, those rules still apply. Okay.
Okay.
So if we're talking about precious metals, let's use that as the example. So what IRA Club does is we set up, meaning if we're your administrator, we're the one managing these accounts, making sure you're not causing these prohibited transactions. If you use, let's just say you have an account at Fidelity and you want to buy gold. Well, Fidelity is going to be like, well, sorry, you can't buy gold. Well, you're going to have to open up an IRA Club account. So when you move the money from your IRA account at Fidelity over to the IRA Club, That's step number one, because we don't want to trigger a taxable event or a 10% penalty. Now, once
Right.
that money's at the IRA club and you've identified, let's say, the bully, right, or silver or bronze or any precious metals, that's IRA, um, or IRS. I should actually take that back. IRS compliant, or they'll allow you to do it. You cannot physically hold that gold because that gold is titled in the name of your IRA, not you.
Right. Right.
So what that means is you have to put the gold not underneath your bed, right? Not in your own safety deposit box, not in your, safe in your house. It has to go to a depository. And what we recommend is using a U.S. depository. Don't go offshore. People do that. That's to their leisure. That's your risk. Okay. But we always prefer that you use, for example, I'm just going to give two: Delaware Depository or Brinks, or we know one of our colleagues, right? Ryan, he's got
Yep.
one also in Utah. So as long as it's on U.S. soil, that is what we recommend, that the money be moved from IRA Club to that depository. So we have multiple accounts at multiple different depositories, and we'll help facilitate that for you, is what we're saying.
Got it. Got it. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, cool. Well, so I got to ask, Ramez, what's next? I know you just had the new baby, but really, what's next for Ramez and his family?
I want to go sleep. That's what I want to go do. All right. I am tired. I want to sleep. This kid's keeping me up. My wife wants to shoot me. I'm back to traveling a lot. But no, what's next is, for me personally, one of my ambitions and goals, outside of losing weight, I put on a lot of weight, is this company has really taken off into so many different directions. We have exceeded, we're just, I think, a tad over 1.7, 1.8 billion, somewhere in that ballpark right now. Our official numbers haven't come out. We really think that we're going to take off with IRA Club SBS because we're the first in our industry to launch something like this. So we're very much excited about that. And then also launching IRA Club, our new broker dealer, as you well know, Scott, is Optionality. And us, launching IRA Club Financial is kind of going to be the next big thing with one of our good friends and colleagues, CJ, who's been helping set up some of that stuff.
Yep.
But that's kind of the evolution of IRA Club. It's kind of like multiple branches now, right? That's what we're super excited about, and to kind of help you out. So we still tell our clients, you need an LLC, you need to protect your assets, you go to controllers, right? You need to set up a
Absolutely.
business, go to controllers. You need to
You
set up
need
a
an estate plan?
yeah, real estate, go to controllers. You need to set up a 401k plan for you or your employees or for yourself, a solo 401, come to the IRA Club. That is how we collaborate so well with each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So again, this is kind of more of a personal question for you is
Please.
what is the legacy that you want to leave behind? Since this is legacy engineered, and that's what we talk about is how to build legacies and how to create that. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Honestly, that's such a loaded question, Scott. For me, to what I kind of just talked about a little bit earlier, if what I'm teaching is building legacy, it's passing this information along, right? To your spouse, to your friends, to your children, your grandchildren, that there's just so much more out there, right? At the end of the day. And having just enough money to live that life that you're so comfortable, that if you were to quit today, nothing changes for you, right?
Right.
And the gratification that I kind of get, I'm going to be honest with you, is when I see somebody, when I talk to them and educate them, and this is when I know that I get them, is when they're a deer caught in headlights, right? Is this is unbelievable. But for me, legacy is family, God, always doing the right thing, and always being there to, help somebody and learn something new. I kind of said this earlier, open up doors and opportunities for people that just
Yep.
may not know. I think that's kind of the big dream for me. That's always been that way. And at the end of the day, it's a strategy, Scott. You want to do it, do it. You don't want to do it, you're not hurting me. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's for your benefit. It's not that there's nothing here to sell you. It's like at the end of the day, it's makes me proud at the end of the day. So
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Ramez, I want to thank you for joining us on Legacy Engineer. Your insights, experience, and commitment to empowering investors brought tremendous value to today's conversation. So we appreciate the work that you're doing to help people think differently, invest intentionally, and take control of their financial future. Again, thanks for being here, for contributing to the mission and build legacies with purpose. How can people get in touch with you?
Honestly, very simple.
Click
You
on
could
the
go to,
link.
yeah. So listen, click on the link, visit iraclub.com. If you're an individual, if you're a small business owner, visit iraclubsbs.com. All the information you'll ever need, resources are on there. Or if you just want to, I'll give you my calendar link. I don't know how far out you're going to be able to get a hold of me, but because Scott could never get a hold of me. It took us a while to get this to this podcast. So Scott, thank you for being patient with me. But at the end of the day, that's the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Well, perfect, perfect. And if our listeners are also interested in taking the next steps to discuss, how to build a legacy, how to tie all this into your business, your trust, and make sure that it's all tied into the estate plan, definitely click on or go to controllersltd.com along with the IRA Club, and we'll definitely have a conversation. So if today's episode inspired you, make sure you follow, subscribe, and share this conversation with somebody who's ready to expand their financial vision. And from there, I want to thank you for listening to The Legacy Engineer, where we design wealth with purpose. We'll see you next time. Thanks, Ramez.
Pleasure, Scott. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Legacy Engineered. For more episodes and to connect with Scott and the team at Controllers Limited, visit controllersltd.com. You can also follow Scott on Instagram and LinkedIn and start building your legacy with confidence today.